Steve Schoenfeld, the Israeli economy is forecast to grow at 3.6% in 2015. It's one of the highest growth rates in the world. What's driving it?
Israel's economy is incredibly well diversified in trade, in industry, its export markets. It's the best performing economy in the OECD. It has great growth potential trading in the emerging markets, and its companies are world leaders.
Can you talk about those companies? Because the Israeli stock market is outperforming the S&P, although not a lot of people know it.
That's true. Israel's one of the least understood investment opportunities. You have world-class companies, but because of where Israel's located, whether it's the geography in the neighborhood or where it stands in the benchmarks, most investors don't have enough exposure to Israeli companies. You have world leaders in pharmaceuticals, in technology, in industrial, even in sort of smart consumer products, whether it's SodaStream or CeasarStone in your kitchen.
Well, in the indexes, Teva is very well represented in any index you look at. Can you talk about your view on Teva?
Sure. Teva is a great company. It is a world leader and a pioneer in generics, and it now has a number of its own drugs. There's a little bit of pharma drama right now with Teva looking to acquire Mylan. We'll see what happens. I think they most likely will succeed. Teva is a great company, and it's an Israeli company operating around the world, but it's only one company. Now, many of the indexes, including some that you refer to, have Teva at 25 or even 50%. That's too much for an index. Our index, the BlueStar Israel Global Index, caps any single stock at 12.5%. In our mind, that's enough of any company, no matter how good it is.
All right, can you talk about cybersecurity? Because this is another sector which pops up in Israeli indexes, companies like Checkpoint and Imperva. So where are you with regard to those companies?
Cybersecurity is one of 6 or 7 key technologies that Israeli companies are at the forefront of. Checkpoint invented the term firewall, and the technology came out of the Israel Defense Forces Unit 8200. But now you have companies like Imperva, CyberArk, Radware. All of these are leaders, and in fact, Israel is building a cyber hub in the desert where it's relocating, and it's starting to boom already. And we believe Israel will remain a leader in cybersecurity. It's about 8–10% of our index.
The other big area in Israel indexes is financials. You have Hapoalim, Leumi, these banks. So why don't you talk about BlueStar and financials?
Sure. Israel's financial sector is actually quite stable between the banks, which you mentioned, the insurance companies, and the asset management. Very stable, mostly focused on the domestic market, not a lot of overextension into Europe. These are good, solid companies with exposure to the local market. We believe investors should invest broadly and include companies that are very globally oriented, like tech, and very locally oriented, such as financial services.
And then finally, where are Israeli stocks in global indexes? Are they underrepresented? And then a follow-on question, if you care to take it, is are Israeli stocks trading at a discount because of geopolitical worries?
The short answer to both is yes. Israel's weight in the global indexes is constrained because indexes such as MSCI and FTSE do not include Israeli companies that are listed abroad. Great companies like Checkpoint, CyberArk, CeasarStone, Mobileye, the leader in autonomous driving technology. It's about to be applied into the New York taxi system to keep us a little safer when we're riding taxis. We believe an index for Israeli companies needs to have Israeli companies, whether they're listed in London, New York, Tel Aviv, or even Singapore. Our index, the BlueStar Israel Global Index, and the ETF tracking it is ISRA, trading on the NYSE, has all of these, and it gets the right balance. As far as valuations, there's no doubt that there's a geopolitical weight on Israel's market because of the very rough neighborhood. However, over time, the earnings of Israeli companies surpasses it. So in fact, the time to buy Israel is when others are ignoring it, the valuations are reasonable, and you will be rewarded in the long term.
All right, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And thank you for watching The Street.